guitars.
It's not the first time New Zealand has led the way in groundbreaking innovations. With his number 8 wire attitude so commonly found here, Joe Lang set out to build his guitars. A perfectionist as he is, he would often find himself frustrated along the way. His ongoing quest for perfection would often impose another challenge. As a result, he's produced the most technologically advanced guitar to date, crafted in beautiful Kauri wood. Kauri stumps can be found throughout New Zealand's farming pastures. Carbon dating has proved these to be over 35,000 years old. Often burnt and left to rot, these stumps have found many new uses in the furniture and tourist industries. Joe Lang, however, had something a little different in mind.
What we are looking for is a slab of Swamp Kauri that has a beautiful pattern in it. Now you will see here, this is a root structure. You can see still the side of the roots. It's a real mess. And out of this mess we will make one of our Langcaster guitars. You've got lots of cracks sitting inside the wood and it needs to be filled up. How do you fill it up? Well, we use injection needles. We fill it in. It takes weeks and weeks and weeks to fill it in with an epoxy, with a liquid glass, till it is totally solid. The problem with the slab of wood is the Kauri gum is very soft. So the moment that we route it or we mill it, your router bit will clog up straight away. It's a nightmare to work with. And then when the epoxy is sitting inside one of those holes and you hit this with your router bit goes blunt. So you're in a no-win situation, but I tell you what, man, that looks flipping fantastic.
Just double checking everything's nice and sweet and tight. An opportunity arose here to help Dad because he's always inventing one thing or another and he gets a bit too busy for himself. So and here I am doing these bits and pieces, you see.
I've got a template here and I will route this on my baby, and I love this machine, man. This thing is probably, I don't know, 80 years old. I have no idea. I bought it for a few $100. I had no idea what it was, but it sounded okay. And now it's the best thing that I ever bought in my life. I use it as a milling machine, as a routing machine, and as a drill. So now, man, I tell you what, for no money in the world, I like to sell this machine. I love it. Go. Are you ready? I love this machine, man. 80 years old. Beautiful.
Well, after it's been sprayed, it takes a couple of days to dry, and at this stage I check it over and I look for faults or any bubbles or anything like that might show up. And basically what I do then is I sand it down. Once it's been sanded down to a nice dull surface, that can be going to the buffing department, which is right here. Not very far actually. So now this process has to be done at least 5 to 6 times, and well, hopefully this one should be alright. So then I'll go to the polishing machine, or a buffer really, and as you can see it buffs up. It may look like it's finished, but it's not. You may see little bumps and hairs and that. It takes me at least half a day to polish one up. Some are harder than others, obviously.
Nobody would engrave my logos inside my headstock, so I made a ridiculous step to buy a machine that normally costs $20,000 or $30,000. I had absolutely no idea how the thing works. I had no idea how the software works, and nobody tells you. So I managed to work it out together with Danny, and hours of swearing we managed to make it go. So it's a ridiculous investment for 20 or 30 necks, but I had to do it. I make the plastic pick cards that we use for our kit sets, and the rings copper plated and chrome plated. Beautiful. Well,
almost a year's work all up. Here we get another example of one that's ready. And yeah, and from this stage, well, then it goes to the back upstairs and it gets made into a proper guitar.
To complement his beautiful Kauri guitars, Joe looked long and hard for exceptional pickups, often to be disappointed by their performance, cheap design and hum. There had to be a better way.
I made maybe 100 different pickups, and number 100 was worse than number 5. And to be quite honest, I didn't get anywhere. Thick wire, thin wire, stronger magnets, weaker magnets, longer magnets, shorter magnets, you name it, shielding, printed circuit boards, little capacitors in them. You don't know what you're doing really, you know. It's like trial and error and using your ears. And all of a sudden on a Sunday morning I plugged it in my Fender amplifier sitting here behind me. And I had that feeling that John Britton had with his motorbike, you know. I felt like a little John Britton. We've got a printed circuit board here with 8 magnets and 3 on the top, and that's great because if you're a lead guitar player you don't like to have any dead spots between the magnets. That's quite handy. If you like to have it a little bit darker or a little bit crisper or cleaner, we can change the capacitor for you. The advantage of a very low K pot is that you can use with a Langcaster kit set or a guitar a lead of maybe 100 meters without any loss of tone or treble. The tone is incredibly clean and clear, and you have no hum. A normal pickup is approximately 6,000 to 10,000 ohm, so you can imagine this is a totally different system than most pickups on the market. So now you have a kit set that you can fit into basically any type of Fender, and we are now designing also humbuckers.
As Langcaster guitars slowly find their way to the public, they're often received with great admiration. Magazines worldwide rave about the wood, exceptional pickups, craftsmanship and price.
The Germans are so punklich, they knew that the thickness of my neck was at the 12th fret something like 21.4 millimeters. Well, bucker if I know. I only make the bloody thing, you know. Double page spread in a New York magazine, I couldn't afford it, you know, so that was great promotion. Ago, I had a phone call from a journalist in Holland and said, well, Joe, Jan Ackerman, you know, ex-Focus, and of course I know Jan Ackerman very well because of Pierre being his drummer and also my old drummer, likes to play on your guitar doing a tour in Europe with Steve Lukather from Toto, a Jimi Hendrix tribute tour, and he loves to have your guitar. One guy in New York, he bought 5 of my guitars. One day he had more guitars than I had. 2 pickups, 3 pickups, tremolo, no tremolo. He wanted the whole blooming lot.
Jan Ackerman or Jan Fischer, Joe makes no distinction. Every guitar is built with great care and precision.
There's a problem. I'm in New Zealand, and how much money can I spend on advertising. So by the time that everybody knows about it, I'm probably dead.
While filming this documentary, Joe took delivery of specially designed amplifiers and is experimenting with wireless pickups. I couldn't keep up with him.
The problem is if you like to play. Well, hang on, can you please start again? Instead of poking the thing straight into my eye. No.
Good value for money, everybody's happy.